Mr. President, today I'm speaking on behalf of millions of people in Afghanistan whose fate hangs in the balance and are faced with an extremely uncertain future. I'm speaking for millions of Afghan girls and women who are about to lose their freedom to go to school, to work, and to participate in the political, economic, and social life of the country. I'm speaking for thousands of human rights defenders, journalists, academics, civil servants, and former security personnel whose lives are at risk for defending human rights and democracy. I'm speaking for thousands of internally displaced people who are desperately in need of shelter, food, and protection in Kabul and other places. We've witnessed time and again how Taliban have broken their promises and commitments in the past. We have seen gruesome images of Taliban's mass executions of military personnel and target killings of civilians in Kandahar and other big cities. Mr. President, we cannot allow this to happen in Kabul, which has been the last refuge for many people escaping violence and Taliban's revenge attacks. Kabul residents are reporting that Taliban have already started house-to-house searches in some neighborhoods, registering names and looking for people in their target list. There are already reports of target killings and looting in the city. Kabul residents are living in absolute fear right now. The Security Council and the UN Secretary General should use every means at its disposal to call for an immediate cessation of violence and respect for human rights and international humanitarian law.
There is any imminent threat, but surely the country could go back to where it was. One of the advantages we have now that we did not have pre-9/11 is we know a lot more about the country. We have better surveillance. We have better reconnaissance. We have more things we can do. But even Chairman Milley, General Mark Milley, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said even before the Taliban took over that if the Afghan government failed, there would be a greater risk. Now, al-Qaeda is generally out of the country, but just look what we learned from Iraq. When American forces left Iraq, ISIS moved in. We didn't know much about ISIS, so I think there is always a fear that a new group will start safe havens in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I'm really struck, Martha, by something you just said, that the idea that this country could go back to what it once was. We have spent $84 billion training Afghan troops. You saw that up close. What's gone wrong here?
You know, I've seen so many Afghan forces trained and Iraqi forces. And when we go in, we think we're going to train these guys just the same as our forces. We're going to send them out there. They're going to live by the rules of war and the rules of law. And it just doesn't happen. Something has gone wrong. That military mission has failed. And we have to figure out whether that is a systemic problem.
Martha, thank you so much.
Some Vietnamese veterans see echoes of their experience in this withdrawal in Afghanistan. Do you see any parallels between this withdrawal and what happened in Vietnam, with some people feeling...
None whatsoever. Zero. What you had entire brigades breaking through the gates of our embassy. 6, if I'm not mistaken. The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of an embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. It is not at all comparable.
Bye.